Welcome to Good Neighbors, another time for us to come together, find out what's going on in the community. And on today's program, we're going to kind of go back a ways. And I say back a ways, I'm referring to me, we're going to go back a ways. Because the individual I have on the program with me today has been with me through my academic
endeavors.
achievements. And see, she's already jumping in.
Endeavors.
And we might as well go to her already.
I'm
Carla
sorry.
Boland, that's all right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
And
for
I
having
know
me.
we usually hug, but we try to give a shake on here. And this individual, when we first came to Wichita Falls for the second time, and yes, God has a purpose and a plan. And I went to Midwestern State University, and she was my counselor. Then she was one of my instructors and a guider. And then she has become one of my I'll say one of. She's my boss. And then she's moved on. She continues to progress in life and doing things. And I'm glad to have her on the program. And she is in the capacity today as the VP of Marketing for the Wichita Falls Chamber of Commerce. And I'm just going to forewarn you or inform you that we'll kind of talk a little bit. We'll get the chamber stuff in there, but we'll also kind of talk. But I thank you for coming on the program. I think this is a first for us.
It is, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome, madam. Now, I know a lot of times, and I said go back, so we're just going to go back. A lot of your students that you had when you were at MSU, yes, I told you I was going to go back. When you had at MSU, I know you've heard from a lot of them, but did you ever think you'd have this relationship?
I have a lot of relationships with former students. In fact, it was getting kind of embarrassing because anybody under 30, if I were bleeding on the ground, somebody would walk up and say, I think I had you in class one time. So I had been teaching a long time at MSU, and I really enjoyed it, but it was time to move on. But I do keep up with a lot of them,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I keep up with them primarily through Facebook.
That's great. Of course, media, that's what you deal with. And one thing I remember is we had a diction class. And we had different words we had to look up and this and that. And one of our words was vacillate. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. And so we're having to pronounce our words and this and that. And I'm like, wow, okay, I hadn't seen this one in a long time. And then I was reading the Bible and I saw the word and I was like, oh my God, this, And so I was like, you know what, this class is really worth something. I mean, I know it was had a purpose and plan.
I hear what you're saying exactly.
I
My
just
gosh, you mean I can use this?
Yes, I just was like, okay,
Terrific.
I think I'm gonna do good in this class. And then then we met once again at the city of Wichita Falls, and a public information office, and now with you at the VP with I call him Uncle Tim. I hope he don't get mad, but he knows because I said it before to him. But with Uncle Tim and everyone else, and just tell us a little bit about that, the chamber.
Well, I've been at the Chamber about 18 months, and you're right, Tim Chase is our CEO. The Chamber of Commerce, it's funny, I think a lot of people really don't know what we do. I don't know whether they think we take people to lunch or what it is we do, but to briefly describe what we do, we have a person who looks at the workforce in Wichita Falls, how we get our workforce up to where companies want to come in because they see our workforce. They see, for example, our work ethic, what level of education we have. So we have someone who works just on workforce development. We also have economic development. And those are probably the people you want most to see. Those are the people who go out and cater to businesses who may be expanding or helping businesses we have here expand so that we don't lose employees and our unemployment rate does not go up. So that's another vital area is economic development. Of course, we have the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is funded by members. So if we don't have a lot of members in our business community who are members of the Chamber, it's impossible for us to do our work. And we have about 1,100 members of the Chamber of Commerce.
People don't realize that's how many businesses that are in Wichita Falls, and that's not all of the businesses.
No, not by a long shot, but we have a very active chamber where businesses can get together and do important things like did you know I was looking for a new administrative assistant? Maybe do you know of anybody? Or I hear so-and-so is about to move to Wichita Falls. Could we try to cater to their business? So that's another area of the chamber, is the chamber side itself. My job was just invented about 18 months ago. And it was a result really of a project called 2020, Vision 2020. And it came to light during this that there was really no one in the city whose full-time job was trying to promote this community and really this county, more than the community, the entire county. So I was hired at that point to come in. I was housed at the chamber, although I really don't per se work for the chamber. And we went to work raising money for this campaign called Pride in the Falls. My objectives the first year were to get our name in the newspapers across the nation more often, get more visibility for our community, do some things that would add to the pride of the community. We introduced our logo, we changed all of our color schemes, we did flags, we did banners. A lot of things happened in the first year.
Was this a concept, not the rebranding per se, but just in general, the whole package? Was this a concept you were like, you know what, this is what we need to do, and it's something new, but is this what I'm seeing other cities do, and we may need to follow along with it to help promote Wichita Falls?
Because our system is put together a little differently. For example, some cities have the Chamber of Commerce within their city.
Okay.
And we don't. Ours is independent. So it was really something that we started doing when other cities were pulling back because of the recession.
Oh.
So I didn't have a lot to go on in terms of predecessors. And it really worked at a beautiful time because, as I say, we were going forth spending money that we had raised from the community, and getting our name out there and doing some positive things while other cities were pulling back. So that's where Pride in the Falls came from.
And as you were talking about that, as far as not having anyone else to copy or look at and say, hey, I see that in you, because that's what you did at Midwestern State University as far as the mass communications department. So everywhere you've gone, I've seen that, and a lot of you may not know that or realize that she practically built that department. And so when you have someone who has that type of leadership, of course you expect great things, and that's what we expect for Wichita Falls, with blue skies and golden opportunities. Now by now you should have seen or heard something with that on it because of what has taken place concerning the campaign and the different things that are going on in the communities, the billboards.
Billboards, outdoor radio, television, all kinds of media. But more than that, the action of the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Wichita Falls, Downtown Development, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau all got together and pooled our resources. So not only are we using a variation of the same logo, which really is good for all of us, but it really shows the outside world that these four entities are connected and working together, and you don't see that in every town.
I think that's
some
great.
towns there are some political things, and people come in and they say, so who do we talk to and who do we not talk to? We're absolutely unified in this effort, and that has been noticed by everyone who looks at our collateral material.
That is awesome, and as well as using wisdom concerning your resources, not duplicating anything.
Absolutely. We're pooling our resources. We've tried to save money where we can. If someone needs something produced, we try to see if there's anyone else that can use it or an adaptation of it. So we've used our money wisely. We continue to seek donations, and we will throughout the campaign because, of course, media is expensive. The time it takes to sort through public relations is a very expensive process, but we'll get there.
And even finding the company to help you promote, because sometimes you get with someone and they may not have the same vision and they're trying to go somewhere else, where you live here, you know the people, you know the atmosphere, and you know where you want to go.
Yes, the first year actually we had an outside firm help us, which absolutely goes against the grain. of what you would think. But it was good to have someone come in from the absolute outside and take an entirely fresh look. As soon as we got the hang of that fresh look, then we cut them loose, and now we do almost everything locally.
I'm glad you said that so people know where their money's going, because all they see a lot of times is the number. And what are they doing with all this money, and why they need this and that, Well, the Bible says money answers all things. And of course, when you have a store, you have a business, you want to get paid. So obviously, when you want to do something in excellence, as well as the broad spectrum of the individuals, as well as the nations that we are reaching, you have to do it excellence. I remember just recently, I better say it right, Mr. Chase went overseas.
Yes.
And who would have thought? And then with us changing everything and everything just falling right into place. So, we didn't go over there looking like howdy doody.
Well, another example, we had a group of Vietnamese businessmen come in about 6 or 8 months ago, and they walked into the chamber and they said, we're from Vietnam, our economy is booming, you're not that far from Houston, you have land that's relatively inexpensive because you're not in a metropolitan area, we might want to do business with you. And so it's thinking on that international scale. There really aren't boundaries anymore. Particularly with the web and the ability to do everything online, we're having to adjust our thinking.
Well, on that same line, there may be some individuals, well, I don't want, this and that, and we want to just, have everything the way we like it. What would you say to those individuals?
Well, I think everybody is afraid of change to an extent. Change is not usually comfortable, and if it is, it's really not change. So I tend to love to try things. The best thing you can do is fail at something when you're trying. So you can't find out. I have an old phrase that I use, you can either be confined to a rut or you can make a new path. And I think it's, in general, good to make a new path.
And in making that new path, you have encouraged, inspired a lot of students. Some may have been upset because you're teaching and feel like, I can't believe we have to do this report, we have to do this presentation, but not realizing the knowledge and the wisdom that has been given. And that's with anyone. Of course, the program is called Good Neighbors. So us being neighbors, regardless if it's next door, the next city, watching this on the web, the next state, wherever you are, we can help sharpen each other. And I think that this campaign, as far as the Pride in the Falls, has really helped sharpen us as a community and help others understand, you have to take pride in who you are.
And in where you live. I think one thing that Pride tried to do in its first year, and we're still working on it, of course, is to show our own community the assets we have here. Sheppard Air Force Base, for example, is $1 billion in our economy. We need to be working as closely as we can to help keep Sheppard Air Force Base here and profitable and with missions that are future-oriented. So we have a area of the Chamber of Commerce that's devoted to the Military Affairs Committee, and they are constantly going to Washington trying to ensure that Sheppard endures. MSU is another good example. We have a great university here, Vernon College, Wayland Baptist. We have great universities here, higher education options. Not every community our size can have their children not leave town to go to school.
That's right.
So we have some excellent resources here.